All right. What is up, everyone? Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and welcome to the Ori and the Will of the Wisps Any Percent NMG tournament. We are live with the first race, LyxM versus Phobos, and I am Vane commentating the first run with Klebsaddle. Hello.
Hi. Hello. Yeah, this is any percent no menu glitches race, not no major glitches. So we're going to see not no glitches, but actually quite a lot. And yeah, the category is about like 20 to like 23 minutes long. Yeah, and I think this race is going to be really interesting because I feel like both runners are very even, and I feel like it can be very close right now. This is a very exciting first match, I think.
I think so as well. It is a very close race. Both runners on excellent paces. We have seen them all train. We have seen them all gain speed or lose speed depending on the training. And both of them are excellent players. Both of them are up on the leaderboard. And as Club said, it is no menu glitches. So you are going to see some weird out of bounds movements, but you're also going to see regular gameplay. And that's what we are here for.
Yeah. And I think we're ready to go, Reed.
I think so as well. We can start the races now in the next few seconds. Both players ready already. Both on the new saves, easy mode, and the race has started already. So the beginning, both players will just skip a cutscene, then QTM, which is quit to menu, which skips another cutscene because there are two cutscenes in after each other. And after that, they will just go ahead, grab some Spirit Light, and grab Torch towards the first few tricks.
Also, something we should probably mention is we're playing on not on real-time optimization, we're playing on in-game time optimization. So there's going to be like QTMs for cutscenes and mostly QTMs for getting in bounds again. Because in this category you go out of bounds a lot. And the main way to get back in bounds is to get a save point, which normally reaches out of bounds, obviously, and you get the save point and then QTM to get back in bounds again.
That is correct. So every time you will see a player quitting to menu, they will probably be reaching the inbounds area again after they clipped outside of bounds. So for the first part of the race, they both grab the torch and they are both onto Ofer, which is the first cutscene they will going to skip. So far, both of them pretty on the same pace, I will say.
Yeah, it's probably going to be pretty even until the first real big trick, or the first real RNG point in the run, the ballroom. There's going to be some very RNG heavy mosquitoes in there.
Yeah, the mosquitoes are really a stressful point about that ballroom, just because they can spawn in random positions. They have different attack patterns, somewhat like that, all the time, so you don't really know what you are going to get. And therefore, the ballroom is referred to the worst room in the entire run. So if both of them are going to get it, that will be like a pretty big time save for them if both of them are getting it quickly.
Yeah, it definitely is the early game run killer for most tub runs, I'd say.
So we see here now Lux with a slight advantage in timing. He's already climbing up the Ice Stone Hollow, Quolux Hollow entrance, while Phobos is a little bit behind. But basically what they are doing now is every time you see them quitting to menu while activating a lever, they will skip the cutscene of the lever animation and therefore not watch it, since the lever animations are most of the time pretty slow and pretty daunting to watch. All right.
Yeah.
And there is the point where you can see like Phobos is got stung by a mosquito there. That's what the RNG is, what we're talking about. since the mosquitoes can spawn at random positions and block your way. Like that can be really, really annoying.
Especially now going upwards, right? They can knock you down and you have to do everything again. And it's actually quite hard to aim at the blue eyes because the mosquitoes sometimes even steal your aim, and you can't actually aim to the eye, so it's really hard to hit.
There is an auto aim feature in the game, and yes, that is exactly why the mosquitoes are so annoying as well, because when they are close to the eye zone, which you want, or the blue eyes, which you want to shoot, they block the way, and the auto aim feature of the game will just like have you aim rather at the enemy than the game's objective, and that's why this part of the game is really like RNG based, and you have to be a little bit lucky to get a good one. But seems like both players got it both just fine. Like, I didn't see any major mistakes in here or like any blocks of the mosquitoes. So they got pretty lucky here, don't you think?
Yeah, both of them going into Hollow now. And there's actually the first trick you can do in this category. And you can see LyxM is doing it already. He has activated the door to the teleporter by shooting through the ground. And you can do that by pausing on the first frame after you shoot your arrow. And then the arrow just drops and goes out of bounds, and you can actually hit that eye from above. Usually you would have to lower the poison water so you can hit it. And Phobos is having a little bit of trouble here right now, so this is the first point where LyxM is taking quite the lead.
Yeah, it's also really like precise, the timing of the so-called arrow drop, where you just drop the arrow outside of the bounds and just drop it through the ground. And therefore it's not quite easy. And actually, like, both players just got it now. Phobos now activating the teleporter. That is what you just saw at Phobos's time there. After the arrow drop, you walk through the stone gate to activate the teleporter behind them. To activate the teleporter behind that. And you use this later on because they need to teleport back up again to get to the main story's objective, or to get back onto the route again, rather.
Yeah. Now there's actually coming up the probably hardest trick in this run, and I know Phobos has probably run some troubles with this clip or trick. This is Dash to Sword, known as Dash to Sword. You are going to see like an out of bounds sequence, which is very, very easily going to void you, meaning put you back at your last save point. And it's probably one of the most, probably the hardest trick in the run, execution-wise. And this is often a trick where you're gonna reset.
Yeah, this trick is very, very precise. Like, as you said, like the voiding in here depends on the camera's point of view, and you just have to be very, very perfect in your times, or else the game will just reset you to the latest spawning position you have set. And that is inbounds, where they both did the so-called bow lift and then walked up again. And obviously that is going to lose super much time if they don't hit this. But so far, LyxM has been going through here pretty
He
good.
entered the new scene, actually. He's in the sword scene now and clipping back in. And does he get it? There he is. So he's actually in the sword scene right now. He can fall. If he did this fall now, that would be really bad, but he gets it. So LyxM quite ahead right now, because Phobos still has to do the whole out of bounds sequence, while LyxM now gets sword in 6:30, which is actually a really, really good time.
6:30 sword is actually really, really quick, yes. So we've seen Phobos still struggling here with dash to sword, and this is probably what I would describe as the hardest part of this clip, because he needs to climb up a wall to the right and then dash from the wall to the left against the collider on the left side of him, and then he just has to do 3 wall jumps, which are super precise in timing. You have to kind of figure out a timing or a beat for those 3 jumps, and then the collider will unload and you can actually jump up and weapon wheel to load it back in again. This is what he just did, and now seeing him doing the janky slowdown didn't quite work
Didn't
out
get
for
the
him
clip.
for the first time.
But that shouldn't matter too much. He's pretty safe now. He won't get voided back. He should be able to actually get sword 2 now. If he doesn't fail that, Coyote, no! This is really bad. This is really bad.
And he failed the coyote jump.
That
is probably the only thing he shouldn't have failed, or now now he has to do the whole trick again. He actually has to restart
the out of bounds now, because you would think you can just get to tree, right? But this is the sword tree, and the sword tree is the first tree in the game, and it has like its little cutscene, and the cutscene starts on the ground next to it. So so you actually have to go over to the other side to start the cutscene. No, he fails it again. That's really bad. Oh, wow.
That is very unfortunate for Phobos. Meanwhile, Lux is gaining very much time here. He is actually zooming through the game right now. He's onto the first out of bounds clip after dash to sword, which is like the Silent Woods out of bounds, and he gets it the second try. So
Silent Woods out of bounds is actually rather known as the easiest out of bounds section, because the clip is really easy to get, and he did it quite perfectly there, and it's really quick, but skips a big part of the game because you don't have to go to Wellspring and obviously clear the poison water. You can just go over to the poison water and ignore it completely. And after this point in the game, you don't really have to scare any poison water anymore. So we basically skipped a really big part of the game with this.
Exactly, and now we will see him proceeding on to the Silent Woods section, which is rather known as Bubbles, which is a pretty weird part to play through because it is like time-based, and if you somehow don't get the right and correct timing for it, you will fall into like this muddy water, and that is an insta-kill. So you really need to
pray for Phobos now that they get Coyote. Okay, finally. Okay, we got it. Phobos now gets swords as well.
All right, Phobos now back in the race, and he will just be able to zoom with Lux here and trying to catch up right now. Lux already did the Q skip here, which skips another big part of the game. Do you want to tell us why?
Yeah, the whole section where LyxM is currently in right now, you would usually do with a Q, but we can just, with a precise trick, jump over the whole cutscene and skip getting Q, and actually the whole cutscene as well, which takes like a long time. And he just goes through the part where you would usually ride on Q without Q, which is much faster as well, because the movement on Q is usually quite clunky, and most speedruns try to skip Q. Yeah, the area is quite hard to play through, but there are some cool tricks. He's gonna just sentry jump up, of course, and then skip another cutscene here.
Safe route. Exactly, he's going to skip one of the latest cutscene of the Q skip of the part of the section where you usually have your feathery friend on there, and right now he's just skipping the last cutscene. So he's like pretty far into the game now.
Pretty far ahead, LyxM, actually. So Phobos would need him to fail something like this right now. LyxM just had to QTM because he was going to go feeding ground skip. Probably one of the, I think, most popular skips in this game. You're going to see him like jump up here in the cat and mouse sequence from Shriek, and he's going to try to get upwards to this one boulder thing and try to touch the ground there, because when you activate the cutscene, while being almost not on the ground, the game just puts you on the next closest collision. So if you are going to start the cutscene up there, the next closest collision is going to be out of bounds on top of the scene, which makes you be able to skip the sand. Now we're going to see it here.
All right. So we just saw it Lux doing it. He just, without touching the ground, got up there by doing the aerial sentries. And now he just get ported out of bounds. In the meantime, Phobos, they just catched up quite a bit. Like Lux had a little bit of a struggle with the feeding ground skip. And now Phobos actually
they still have to go through whole Silent Woods though, so it's gonna be quite hard to still catch this up. But maybe we're gonna see here another out of bounds by LyxM. This is elevator skip. Usually in the game you would ride up an elevator and have to do a big fighting. Oh, and he voided. This is big because he's gonna lose some time to Phobos, and hopefully Phobos can catch up.
Exactly. The reason why elevator is that hard, because it's very unforgiving. It is exactly like dash to sword. You do one false step and you will just get reset onto the next point where you spawn. And that is obviously inbounds where you just did the feeding ground skip. So missing elevator is a pretty big time loss right there. But looking now.
Maybe he's gonna get it now. Oh, that looks quite good, and he's back in bounds with the QTM, like I mentioned before. Phobos now doing Q skip, so still quite behind right here. But at the end of this trick, at the end of this run, I mean, there's going to be a really big trick, which completely skips the last shriek fight, which is really hard to do, and I guess, especially in a tournament setting, there's going to be more nerfs than usual, and it's very precise and could be a really good equalizer for Phobos here. And I know Phobos, they are very good at the ending trick called map kill.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait a little bit till we see that, but till now Phobos is trying to actually go for the Q door skip, which is one of the harder skips after you actually like got over the cutscene with Q, and now he has to skip by going out of bounds. He has to skip the part with a keystone door, but he still gets it. Lux is now QTMing to skip a huge cutscene in the meantime, and going inside of Willow, which is the last area he will have to pass through, and then he will just do... Yes?
Obviously, Willow is the last area of the game, and you would usually know it as a really long area where you have to destroy a lot of hearts, right? But we don't actually destroy all the hearts, because very early on in this game, we already there was already found a skip to just skip the whole Willow heart destroying process. You can just go to the most up scene up there and clip out of bounds there, and that scene is actually connected with the scene where the shriek fight happens. So we can clip out of bounds there and get to the shriek scene instantly. And that's what we're going to see at LyxM's stream right now. Actually getting the clip first try. That's just incredible. That's a really good pace.
He's actually zooming through there. 14 minutes at this point is a really quick pace.
Really quick pace.
And now he's making his way on
getting
top
feeding ground skip. And now we're going to see map kill. This is going to be a clip into the ground. You want to clip into the ground of the shriek fight. Maybe he's going to get it first try. That would be insane. And he gets it first try.
And he gets it.
This is the perfect cycle as well. The laser, and now he's gonna fall down, open the map, and shriek dies. This is incredible.
This could be like a pretty good time.
This is a very decent time. Very decent time. Finishing shriek sub 15 is like usually below. I saw LyxM doing some practice runs and writing down his shriek kills, and
it is below his average counts.
Definitely below his average. This was a really good performed run by LyxM here.
So as LYX has finished the game already, we will just see the ending cutscene or the final cutscene on his screen. In the meantime, Phobos has made their way onto launch, which is the final ability we are getting into in this route. And now they will just go on to the launch escape, so going out of the area there and making their way on to the Willow section.
Yeah, and actually the timing of this run doesn't end when you kill Shriek, because in the ending cutscene there is still a little bit of input in the end. So we timing ends on the last input of the player. So we have to actually watch a 3-minute cutscene in the end before the timing ends, which is a little bit annoying maybe sometimes, but
also can be a pretty refreshing part. After a very quick run, you can just calm down a little bit, chill for like almost 3 minutes until you have to do the next input again. But you have to be very careful to not miss that input, otherwise you are going to lose some time.
There have been some funny clips losing PBs and forgetting to press right. There we see the last sequence of gameplay on LYX's screen. Ori just has to walk right.
So
in theory, Phobos could still catch up if LYX wasn't pressing right.
In theory, yes, but I doubt like LYX will not be pressing right or being tapped out of the game right now.
But actually, Phobos is doing a really well Willow right now. Oh, almost jinxed it
right there.
But really well executed Willow. I feel like they are going at a faster pace now. I feel like the nerfs have been hitting in their early game a bit, and I know that Phobos is struggling the most actually with Dasher Sword, the trick we had in the beginning. So I already thought that was going to be a major point for them, where it might separate them, and I think it that was actually like the defining time loss that made LYX win here. This is incredible time, honestly. 17:49. Just saying, this is 10 or 20 seconds off of LYX's PB, right?
Just 23 seconds off of the PB of LYX. So he had an actually godlike run. He just zoomed through the game and just completed it within 20 seconds, which is really like crazy.
He's performing so close to his PB here. That's so incredible.
There's also like some very consistent times on the game, like we saw in training. He's performing like out of his mind.
He's definitely a big contender to win this whole tournament, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know if I have like another favorite in the tournament, honestly, because like there are some pretty big names on here. Like, of course you, but also LYX. Snow is very insane as well, and Abra, and depends on how you are stressed out with the tournament right there, right?
Well, was actually failing map kill once there. It was actually quite sad because there has been like a new version discovered of map kill lately, which is still kind of janky. So we don't quite understand it yet, but hopefully Phobos is gonna get it this try. Now they are out of bounds again. That should be it.
That should be the end of the run for them as well. For what Phobos is doing here right now is he's just waiting, or they're just waiting for Shriek to jump. Because for some reason, the map kill only works when you have other scenes of Willow, which are below the boss fight scene, loaded. And when Shriek jumps, you can open up the map with a specific button for it, and Shriek will get teleported down into the other scene. And since the boss is outside of the boss fight area, the game will just insta-kill the final boss, and we can just skip it like that. So when they are just waiting down in the void, I would say, they are just waiting for a sound cue which is
Shriek jumping.
Yeah. Before she jumps. Yes, exactly.
So obviously this trick is incredibly hard to do, and especially on PB pace, or if you have any nerfs at all, because the clip is just as precise as the other clips in the runs. So clipping out of bounds here is still very hard. And the bad thing about this clip is that Shriek is just there bullying you the whole time, trying to get you, and you're just trying to clip into the ground, which can be very annoying and makes this clip mostly only viable if you get it first try in runs. And that's very hard to get.
It is very hard. It is probably going to be the decider of many runs we will see in this tournament, with dash to sword and the map kill being like the two hardest parts to pull off. And if some runners can pull them off first try, then they will probably catch on a little bit of time lead there.
All right, Phobos has it now as well. Got map kill. Probably gonna be around 23-ish time, I guess.
Yeah, I would say it's like around a 23:58 or something. It's definitely sub 24, I would say.
Yeah, I think we can start with the we have LyxM for an interview right now. We can move him in, right? While Phobos is finishing the ending cutscene.
All right.
Hello.
First of all, that was a super great performance. GG's for that run. 23 seconds incredible. Off your PB. That's actually incredible.
It's just... What do you think about the run?
I think I should not avoid it at dash to sword and elevator.
You avoided two times both there, right? So you could have, if you didn't avoid it one, you actually would have been on PB pace, right? And you just, in the end, got map kill first try just like that.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
So what it was actually very quick. What I was wondering about is if you actually went for the new map kill method that was recently been found, or if you are just wanting to play it safe and went for the normal part of map kill where you just wait for the Shriek to jump, or did you actually do a new setup where you drop down completely and she gets basically insta-killed in every scenario?
No, I was scared of a new setup because it's not quite like consistent, so I was afraid and just do a normal thing.
Yeah, I think it's actually the better generally to do the classic setup here, because if you're doing the new setup involves dying in the spikes, so you have one chance to get it. If you do the normal setup, you can just stand down there out of bounds and wait for her to jump. It's much more chill. It's less pressure and you're more likely to get it, I guess, with the normal setup, but maybe lose some time for it. Yeah, but GG. Phobos is looking to finish right now as well, I think.
Yeah, Phobos getting the last seconds of the crawl part of the game here. And it will be around a 23:40 or 50. No, it's actually going to be very quick. It's going to be a 23:28 here for Phobos. And therefore finishing 2. All right, so that's both runners done. That is the first race done of the tournament. And LyxM finishing with an incredible 17:49, which is an insane pace up onto the leaderboard there. And
it's really incredible. Beating most of the leaderboards, and Phobos to beat that time would have had to PB. So it's actually was really hard probably to get on the same level for Phobos here.
Yeah, it was quite a close race on the start. From the start off, you both got a pretty good, or let's say decent bow room, which we both were talking about can be a little bit RNG there, but Yeah, you both did very well, and congratulations, Lux, you are the winner of the first race.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very happy with it. So, did winner time of Henrik against the Big Deutsch race?
I don't actually know if we can fit that in today. What I do know, though, is that we will have a little bit of a break right
now,
now,
Yeah.
to prepare the next race, which is actually me against Kleb. You're both of your commentators right now are
both of the
going to
commentators
prepare
going to do the next race.
to run now. All right.
I'm actually already feeling nerves, but we'll see. I think we go in the break now, right?
Yeah, I think we can just go into the break. Thank you, Lux, for the interview. Thanks for being here. And yeah, good luck to you, Kleb.
Good luck
Good
to you
luck,
too.
guys.